Well, let's get more on all of this. Tess Ingram is joining us live now from Gaza City. She is a UNICEF spokesperson. Tess, the amount of aid reaching the Strip since the ceasefire has certainly increased. But is Israel meeting its ceasefire obligations fully in terms of the level of aid and in terms of exactly what items are being allowed in at this point?
UNICEF is bringing in priorities for children. We're bringing in nutrition supplies. We're bringing in hygiene kits, winter clothes for kids. As you said, it's very cold here. We've had no issue getting those items in to the Gaza Strip. And as you said, the amount of aid overall has really surged, including here in the north of Gaza, where I am. I think that there are items that we need to prioritize. It's very clear that people here are cold, they're wet, they're not getting enough shelter. People are constantly asking me for tents, but also water, and that's something we're really focused on. We do have issues bringing in some of the items that remain on this dual-use list, for example, generators, and we really need to bring those in to get the water pumps going so that people can have access to safe water, particularly in the north of Gaza, where water systems have just been decimated.
So for what you're saying, then, that sounds like a really quite significant improvement over the last few weeks, Tess. And yet still these issues with some items. Why is that?
Look, I can only speak to what I know as UNICEF. And like I said, we're getting in these nutrition treatments, the winter clothes. We brought in hundreds of tarpaulins yesterday for distribution.
And in terms of going forward, Tess, you know, obviously, as you say, there's this priority list, the first order of things, understandably, things like water and nutrition. As we look forward and go forward into the weeks, do you think everything will continue to be so smooth, or as the range of items that you are wanting to bring in broadens, do you anticipate any issues?
It's really hard to say at the moment what is going to happen in the future. As your correspondent said earlier, there is so much uncertainty about the ceasefire deal, about the volume and types of aid coming in. We're doing our best in really difficult circumstances to bring in enough aid to meet children's needs. But of course, we're talking about 15 months of deprivation. The amount of aid that we can bring in 2 weeks is not going to undo that overnight. So this must be a sustained effort, and all of these priority types of aid, as well as services. It's really important that we're not just talking about aid on trucks, but services as well, are allowed to enter and to scale up.
OK, Tess Ingram, I'm afraid we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time this morning.